Right, so here's kind of a review table of characteristics information about the three functions that we're worried about. And again, don't memorize this. You should be able to fill this out by just thinking about what the graphs look like. In fact, for that matter, let's do the last line first, because that will help us answer all the others. So the graph of sine, where does the graph of sine start? Yeah, Andrew, it is the same thing as what you're looking at, but I want to make sure we can do it without, staring at that. There's graph of sine. Graph of cosine starts at a maximum. They both, I don't want to say end, they both start over at 2 pi. Because you don't want to think that the graph is only between 0 and 2 pi. That's usually what we graph, but it goes forever both directions. Tangent, the one that looks like that, in between the pi over 2's. Now, if you can remember that, you can probably fill out the rest of the question. What's the domain of sine? In fact, if you're at home, why don't you pause it and fill out that, and then we'll show the answers in a moment. So there's a pretty good picture, pretty good review of the properties of sine, cosine, and tangent. And again, you could fill that table out looking at your own table, I get it. But I hope you were able to think through that and maybe start with a picture, a parent function picture, and fill in all the blanks. Again, there are questions on the test that pull from that. In fact, let's just talk about the test outline here while we're here. So there are 5 questions where your answer is sine, cosine, both, or neither. So it has to do with the properties. So the range is -1 to 1. Is that sine or cosine or both or neither? The range is -1 to 1. Yeah, say it. Is it sine, cosine, both, or neither? Both. So stuff like that. If you know the properties, those should be easy. And then 5 true, false, based on the properties that we just looked at. Domain, range, period, zeros, asymptotes, all that stuff. So that kind of gets your brain thinking. I would suggest you draw the little pictures. You don't have to, but kind of get your brain going at the very first part of the test. Take 30 seconds to draw the 3 parent functions, and then you'll be, your brain's engaged, you're ready to answer these questions, and you're ready to do the rest. 3 questions that are given the characteristics, write an equation. That was worksheet 3, I think. So similar to worksheet 3, where we just tell you what the stuff is and you write the equation. Most of you thought that was a relatively easy assignment, and I agree with you. There's 4 where, given the graph, write the equation. I guess I shouldn't say write, I should switch these. That first one should say write the equation. There should be one equation. If you're given the graph, write an equation, right? Because there's more than one way to do it. If you're looking at it as flipped, or you shifted left versus shifted right, those are the ones that have multiple answers. And then there's 3 given the equation, sketch the graph. That was worksheet 2, I think. Yeah. So there's your outline of the test. So I don't want to say it's an easy test, but it's a focused test. It's not very it doesn't cover a whole lot. Sine, cosine, tangent, and can you handle amplitude, period, phase shift, vertical shift? If you can do that, then you'll be fine. Questions on what the test looks like? I guess this is obvious, but do is worksheets 1 through 5, the packet. Not included in that is that very last page, the back, where it's the joke page. I can't figure out the scale of that thing, so I would not worry about that. I could match some of them up, but then some of them wouldn't match, so don't worry about that one. Alright, so the remainder of the time, 20 minutes or so, is yours to work on the review. Answers are posted in Schoology. Answers are also up here, as well as to some of the other worksheets. Yeah.